Ma'am, I have acne and pigmentation. Can I participate? I don't have any talents like acting or singing. Will I win? Is it important to be very thin? I have crooked teeth. Will I be eligible? Is BWAP really necessary in this pageant? I get these questions every single day from all of you, and if you watch till the end of this video, all your questions will be answered. Hi everybody, I am Lekh Uthaiah. I'm your Femina Miss India Punjab 22. I am a pageant coach, a model, and a content creator. And in this video, we are going to be diving deep into what subcontests are, how exactly can we win them, how important they are, and which one should you focus more on than the rest. This is made after carefully reviewing the last few subcontests that have happened in this pageant. So let's get on with it. Let's start by understanding what are subcontests, right? In layman terms, a sub of the main contest, which is the finale, are the different titles which is given based on all the things that you win during the course of the pageant. So there are certain days where certain brands are invited in and very fun activities are kept in through which you are gauged for certain titles. And based on that, some girls make it to the top 5 of each subtitle, which is announced, again, getting you visibility. And on the awards night, the night where all the winners of subcontests are announced, they win these subtitles. So let's say one of you can say, oh, I was Miss Body Beautiful in the year 2019. Or somebody can say, oh, yeah, I won Miss Talented in 2022. So that's how it goes about it. It is a preliminary round of sorts, which means that even though on the finale there is like a very big cut, right? There is an elimination and only a few get to like shine on stage. But on awards night, a lot of the other girls get the chance. Let me help you understand from a business perspective why this is done. So pageants run on sponsorships, right? Now, I would really suggest you get into event management if you're a college student or if you have some spare time, because you'll understand the business side of events a lot better, because I have been in and out of those. Sponsorships basically mean that they give you money in return for visibility. So let's say an XYZ skincare brand is coming to Miss India, or Miss India is reaching out to an XYZ brand and saying, hey, are you willing to, let's say, pay us 3 lakhs for this event? That's a very minimal amount. This is just a figure. Pay us this amount in order for us to promote you across all of our social media platforms. We have Times of India by our side and we have a lot of visibility. And then the brands agree. And the brands also then have their name put up as titles. So let's say you will have a Rajnigandha Goodness Ambassador. That might change the next year when someone else is taking on that sponsorship deal. So that's how it changes. It gives the brands the visibility and basically what they've asked for in return for the money that they're paying the pageant. And for the girls, it is a chance to shine bright before the finale. Now let's quickly get on to the meaty part of the video. I have divided the subtitles into 3 categories, and you should too if you're making notes of it, which I highly recommend. The first one would be the achievable ones, the things that you should work the hardest on because they're in your control. The second would be the unachievable ones, something that you can still aim for, but not something that you have a lot of control over. And the third is like a 50-50. You should be putting in your maximum effort for it, but you shouldn't 100% be expecting returns. The first one is Miss IQ. Now, Miss IQ is basically a questionnaire that is given which checks your logical reasoning, your analytical thinking, your English, and your general knowledge, all of it put into one. So, if you have given competitive exams, you will know the kind of format that is followed. If not, you can just go and search it on Google. The format is relatively simple. You get like a 5 minute limit to it, and you get 20 questions. And after a point it becomes inky pinky ponky, all right. But if you are someone who is in the exam giving lifestyle, then you probably will be quick to answer the questions, and it's based on who answers the first. But still, top 5 are selected for visibility purpose, but in this case they already know who the winner is because you can't fool time. You should actually watch this video that I'm going to link that I did with Navya, who was a last year's state winner, and she won the most amount of subtitles, and a lot of them included quizzes because she's a medical student, and she actually tells you how to go about it. So definitely make sure you check that out. The next one is Miss Sudoku. Sudoku is also something that you can start practicing while you have the time for it. So even Sudoku, you are given like 15 to 20 minutes, and whoever solves it first gets to win this subtitle. I'm gonna definitely add links of each subtitle and links basically of the resources where you can go and watch, where I went to practice things that were easily learnable by me, which will also help you. So make sure you check the link in the description. The next is Miss Lifestyle. So here there are a lot of lifestyle based questions. There are certain luxury brands that are put across. They ask you a lot of Indian fashion. So if you're a fashion student, this will be super easy for you. If not, there are a few pages that you can follow, a few websites that you can visit. Again, it's in the description. But based on this, it's again a quiz. Now, here comes an important one which is in your control. It is Miss Multimedia. Okay, this is something that has started off in the recent years, which means it's going to continue, and it also shows the importance of being very active on your social media. So Miss Multimedia is given to somebody not based on who has the high number of followers, but based on someone who's doing really well through her social media, who's showing content across regardless of how many followers she has, who's interacting with everything possible, and basically promoting the organization and her time at the organization. And she actually gets fast tracked to the top 12. So can you believe that if you win multimedia on awards night, you sure shot know that you are going to be getting a chance to introduce yourself and getting camera time and getting placed basically. So why would you miss out on a chance like that? So everybody who's lazy with their social media, book a personal guidance session with me. I will tell you how exactly to go about it, what is the content to post, and I will push you to do it so that this becomes a habit. So when you're in the pageant, you're not lazy about it. The next is Miss Beauty with a Purpose. Again, in this video that I shot with Navya, she won Miss Beauty with a Purpose last year, and she tells us how to go about it. But in a nutshell, let me tell you, in this basically they tie up with fundraising organization. For the last few years it's been Keto, and they tell you to raise a certain amount as a minimum, and over and above that is fine. So like in my year we had to raise at least 2 lakh 50, but anybody who raises above that, well and good. So I remember a girl who probably raised like 7 lakhs or maybe 17, who got Miss Beauty with a Purpose. Now you might be thinking, right, if this is just a money game, then like why should I bother? Like how does this come in the category of things I can control? Here's what you can do, right? This is where your Beauty with a Purpose project comes into picture. When you are in the process of actually executing your project, talking to your NGOs, talking to your road track clubs, meeting people who are beneficiaries and who in general donate, knowing organizations that donate, these are the people that will put in a lot of money. Even though I had associations with a road track club, when you ask individuals, there's only so much that an individual person can donate. You need to know organizations who donate on a daily, but you need to know those people, and for that you need to actually execute your project. And this is announced on the finale night, and they also get to be placed and get into the top 10 or the top 12. So don't miss out on that chance. So Style Icon basically has different variations every year. Like last year, they had the girls go into the trend store. They were given a budget of 5,000, and they said pick up accessories, clothing, whatever you think represents your style, and you're going to style it and then show us. In some cases, they have girls who are told to get whatever their outfits are with them when they come into the pageant, and they just wear it and show it and explain it. Basically you have to tell why you are showcasing that style. So ideally style should be a mix of timeless fashion, something that you probably could wear even 50 years later, as well as things that are trending. A mix of those is what helps achieve your personal style. So if you are someone who basically doesn't have a job which requires you to experiment with fashion a lot, use this as your goal, Femina Miss India, to actually start buying new necklines, getting more colors into your wardrobe, understanding how belts elevate your outfit, what do accessories do. I have actually made a video on pageant outfits on a budget. You have to go check that out because I give a lot of tips and the things that you in general can do to enhance your style. Next comes Miss Ramp Walk. Now, this was another title I was super excited about because I had worked so hard on my ramp walk, and something that you also can win. And what you have to do in this, of course, practice, 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 and reach a point where it looks so smooth that your arms are having a life of its own, and so is your feet, and so is your face. And everything is just tying together very seamlessly, and it just looks like you're gliding in high heels. Those are the girls who eventually win. If you want to know what are the kind of heels that you should buy, I have made a video right here. I've spoken about a ton of brands that are available mostly in India. So you should go watch that. Apart from that, if you want to understand the basics and understand how does Lekh walk so smoothly, if you don't know that, I post my walk videos on my YouTube shorts. So go to my channel and go through all of my shorts. I keep putting in a lot of informative ramp walk content there. You can always book a ramp walk session with me, online, offline, doesn't matter. The value remains the same because it's the knowledge that you need. Practice in the end आपको ही करना है, मैं थोड़ी ना हाथ पकड़ के practice करवाऊंगी. Then comes Miss Talented. Now, I was also shortlisted for Miss Talented, which is why I got to perform the performance of my dreams. The video is up. I uploaded it, I think, in the same year, and it has garnered a ton of views. So you should go watch it. So, Miss Talented, may you get shortlisted to showcase your talent on the awards night. So I'll tell you the catch here, right? If you are someone who doesn't have a performative talent, because last year I think they did get in someone who could sketch and paint within a certain time limit, but it just wasn't appealing enough. Even if, let's say, you're doing stand up, for instance, unless you're really really good and have years of experience backing you that your jokes are so damn funny, it's an art, right? You don't get it essay. Acting works because you can move around stage, you can show different emotions. Dancing definitely works because it's a Bollywood world and we're doing this in Mumbai. Singing works. So I would suggest, if you are aiming for Miss Talented, please work on performative talents rather than saying that नहीं but मुझे drawing आती है, वो भी तो talent ही है, तो मैं वही करूँगी, मुझे और कुछ नहीं सीखना. Trust me, it'll help. So Miss Talented, as far as I know, the format में दो winners होते हैं. So they kind of share the winners. One who dances probably wins and one who sings probably wins. Where I'm yet to see someone who acts who has won, but you're always sharing that title with someone else. Next is your fit and fab. Basically, it checks your fitness level. That's one of the most fun days. So I would suggest you make sure you click the link in the description. I've put in like a few channels that teach you really well how to do HIIT. The idea here is not to learn how to do it, but have the strength in your body, and that comes from months and years. It consists of holding a plank, it consists of doing wall sits, of doing jumping jacks, a lot of high intensity interval training movements, depending on your personal best, right? Because people start to crumble after a certain point. Wall sit में कुछ ही लोग बचेंगे, they move ahead. फिर plank में और भी कम लोग बचेंगे, they move ahead. तो ऐसे करते करते, based on how the form is and how much time you're taking and how well you are holding those things, is how you become the fitness champion. Now we come to the sub-contest that's a little out of your control. Okay, the first one is Miss Body Beautiful. Now this usually is not shown in any social media platforms, but you basically have to wear a workout set, which is like shorts and a sports bra, and that's how you go and present yourself. Basically your body proportions are checked, right? So it's not someone who's really skinny or someone who is really curvy. It's basically whether your proportions of your chest, your waist, your hips is proportionate to each other. So if you think Miss India में swimsuit नहीं पहनना होता है and that's why I'm going in, please, that time has gone. You have to be comfortable wearing glamorous outfits and not put so much of your respect in your body that you think that this is something that's against your rules. Because let's face it, in the end we are in the pageant space, we're in the glam space. Then comes Miss Beautiful Eyes. There they have pictures that they ask you to submit, and based on that, and calling you also, they check your eyes and they see how expressive they are, and based on that you win. Next is Miss Photogenic, and here is where doing a lot of photo shoots outside of the pageant comes to life, because they ask you to submit some of your best pictures, and based on that they check which girl has the potential to be the next commercial face, right? Print shoots के लिए who is someone who works really well. Mostly I've noticed that models win this. Models meaning professionally who've been working in this space for a good 3 years at least, because they kind of have the knack for it. They are print models for a reason. They sometimes get scouted by the organization because they're doing so well in the modeling space. So they know that they have a commercial face. So they mostly end up winning. But don't lose heart. If you put in the effort to do a variety of photo shoots beforehand, get your different angles out, no one's going to stop you from winning it as well if your pictures are actually better than everybody else's. There's also something called Miss Beautiful Skin, and in this, you basically go to a dermat and they check pigmentation on your skin, they check any sun damage, they check for acne or any clogged pores you might have. And this is not restricted just to your face, they use a magnifying glass to actually check your arms and your legs. And mostly someone who just has great skin, mostly which comes genetically, wins. But that doesn't mean that you just go in with untreated skin, right? If there are chemical peels that you can use to take care of your skin conditions, please do it. Take care of your skin as much as possible, because like these things are actually parameters as to what they look for even when they're taking in state winners, so you can't ignore these aspects. Now comes our third category, which is Miss Goodness Ambassador, which is also Miss Congeniality. I've actually done a podcast with Urmila who won this last year, so please go check that out so you understand better as to what are the kind of people who win this. But in a nutshell, again, these are people who are voted by their co-contestants, and they are genuinely super helpful people, right? People who go out of their way to help you, especially in a pageant, which is not just a competitive space but also a very busy space. They basically have a very approachable demeanor, they help people, and they're very kind. Next comes Miss Shining Star. It is named differently in different years, but basically it checks everything, which is your academics, your talent, your community service that you've done, and basically the life outside of pageant, how you are, what you have done and contributed and achieved, basically. So someone might have already achieved a lot more than you have, but this also shows that they're looking for all-rounded people. There's another subcontest called Radiant Personality, and this is again someone who's voted by the other co-contestants. This is someone who just comes off as such a charismatic persona. And I'll tell you, before you think, oh my god, how do I get to be a charismatic personality? By the way, every girl that they choose has a charismatic personality. I think that is the number one trait that I noticed amongst all of my co-contestants also when I was there. That they are some of the most interesting people, and I would never get bored with any of them. You just need to know, first of all, what are your personality traits. You need to understand yourself better in order to then shine through. I have again added a few links of certain tests that you can take to understand your personality better. With that, we cover all the subtitles that they have been renaming and revamping and having different brands endorse them. But in the end, this is the activity that goes on. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? But it's also a lot of pressure. I hope this helps you understand what you should be doing and what you should be working on well before the pageant, so that you get to win these subtitles. The more you win, the more sashes you get, the more stage time you get, the more your name is all across the internet, the more you get to feel like a lot more convinced of your presence in the pageant. It's not necessary that someone who wins a subtitle also wins the main crown. So there's no correlation there. This is specifically based on how you perform in these activities. All right, that is it. I will be coming up with my next video very soon, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.